Hey y'all, what's up? It's John with Be Superfly here today with another tutorial. This is something I worked up way back in the day that I'm just now getting to doing a tutorial on. This will be a quick one today, but basically it's this feature right here where we have a pretend about us with the team members, and you hover over and you see each person's info here. And so there's a text module and a button module that's fading in here. And then on tablet and mobile, since there's not really a hover, you can choose just to have these show, or if you want, you could choose to still have the same behavior happen where someone has to press and hold to view. So I'll show you how to do this real quick, and you can grab the code from the code pen and make it happen. So here's our basic setup here. So I pretty much have a section here that's full width, and I have an ID of team here, and then the row here, I have a class called team row, and then basically I just have a full width row with 100% width here, gutter width down to 1, and then I've set each, if I go into each column here, I've set the spacing here for each one to be 50 pixels all around on desktop, 75 on tablet, and then back to 50 for mobile. And then in my row here, each column, I've set a background image, and that's where the different images are for the different fake employees in this example. Okay, and then inside each column here, I just have a basic text module and a button module. And so I'll just save this, and so by default, what you're going to have is just this right here. And by the way, if you're wondering, how'd you get the plus and dollar sign? That's a different tutorial on our channel. You can check it out, but it's saved my life many times to have the plus button up here behind the number counter instead of down here. Anyway, back to this tutorial here. So let me hop over to the code that I have here, and I'll explain how this works. So remember our section, we have that ID of team, so that's what this is here. And then inside of our our section had an ID of team. Our row had a class of team row, and that's what this is. And then what I'm doing is I'm just targeting the column here. So I'm targeting each column, each of our 3 columns inside our team row. And this is we have another tutorial on how to use pseudo elements to fade in and out colors. But basically this is saying, hey, go to that column, go to this column here, and make a background for us. And so this background is mostly gray, and it's set to 0% opacity here. And then when I hover, bring that background in to 66%. So let's just grab that much of it and come over here. I'm just going to paste it into this page. Normally you'd have your own style sheet, or you could paste this in theme options. But I'm just going to paste this right here, and you can kind of see what it does. So now when I hover over each of these columns, my gray background goes from 0% opacity to 66% opacity. Okay, cool. So that's what that block of code is doing. The next here is we're saying, hey, go back into our team section, team row, go into each column, and find anything with the class of ETPB module. Now we know that every module, every Divi module has that class. So if we go up here, you'll see that. Let me come over here. You know, this text module up here has a class of ETPB module. This button right here has a class right here, ETPB module. So basically, and any other modules I put in there, this number counter module down here is going to have ETPB module. So every module has that class. So basically we're saying, hey, go into the team section, into the team row, go into each column in the team row, and find any module, however many there may be. In our example, there's two. There's a text module and a button module. And after you've found those modules, make them invisible. So now we'll add this line of code. And now you'll see that our modules are gone now. Now I still have my hover that I set up here in these first two blocks of code. And now my opacity of my modules are gone. This transition is just saying how long it should fade in and out once we start fading in and out our modules. All right, so then the last line for desktop is this one right here. And this one's saying, hey, go into the team section, team row, go into the column, and when you hover on any column in the team row, go into that column and find any modules and make their opacity to 1 now, or 100%. So we'll go ahead and add that one. So now when I come in here and hover, you'll see that those are now fading in and out. And they're fading in and out at the speed of this 1 second right here. If I were to take this out, it's just going to appear right away. And that's not very subtle. That's not what we want. So this is what we want. Okay, so let me go ahead and save this. And like I said before, for desktop, we're pretty much done. So now if we go back here to our page and we refresh, we'll see that I can't see those modules. And now when I hover over this column, a few things should happen. Number one, I should get a gray background. And then my modules, my button module and text module should appear. And the gray background helps us read them. Boom, perfect. Okay, but now we see that if I go down to the tablet, someone has to hover to see. Same with mobile. Someone will have to hover to see. And so there's a couple schools of thought on this. One is, hey, let folks figure it out. They can't really hover on, they could put their finger on it, and once they put their finger on the photo, then it'll come in. That's what the default behavior will be. Maybe they'll think these are just images and they'll just scroll past them and not understand that these are different people, part of the team members. So if you're like, hey, I'd rather them not have to hover on mobile and tablet, I'd rather them just show up, then we're going to basically do this last little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this last bit of code. And what this is saying is, hey, when the screen size is 980 or below, and 980 is when Divi turns into tablet mode, let's go into the team section, into the team row, into the column. And earlier we set this is the same code right here. We set this to have a gray background that was 0% opacity, so invisible. Now we're saying, hey, go to that same background and turn it up to 66%. And then we're saying here, earlier we said, hey, go into the team row, column, turn off any modules, make their opacity 0. Now we're saying, hey, go into those rows, turn them back on. All right. So now we'll refresh. Looks great. And then if we go into tablet, it just shows up. One last thing I'll show is, let's say you're like, okay, I like how it just shows on tablet, but maybe, if they do press, maybe the background can get a little darker. How would I do that? Let's do that together. All right, so let's go into our code here. And so earlier we see on desktop, we were setting the background color to 0 like it is now. And then when they hover over, it gets 67% or 66. Down here, we're saying, hey, without the hover, just automatically be 66% on tablet and mobile. So if I wanted to make it darker on hover, I'm going to copy this row right here. Copy that. I'm going to come down here and paste it right after. Now, so right now it's saying, hey, when you without hovering 66%, when you hover 66%, so it's not going to change, not going to change anything. But if I change this to 90%, let me go ahead and click save here. So now when we go in here and now when we hover, it's going to get a little darker. It's going to do that 90%. Okay, so, and that's probably where I'll probably do 0.8 and leave the code there as the final version that we'll put inside the code pen. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this, and for more CSS tips, check out our website, besuperfly.com. We have a free tutorials area that has a ton of tutorials. You can check out our YouTube channel. We have a ton more tutorials. We also have an entire course called CSS for Divi. Just go to cssfordivi.com and you can learn more about this course and there's even a sample project on here, this example lesson that you do. And then, yeah, the course outlines on here, and there's tons packed in this course. Yeah, you can kind of browse through here and see all the everything that comes with the course. A lot of great tutorials. Sample project's down here. I need to relink that. I need to relink this, but sample project is down here where we replace the default Divi's play button with this graphic play video and icon here, and very nice on hover. So that's a free one. It's 15 minutes long, but it's one of many in our course. So go ahead and check it out. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming along on this tutorial on how to get this working right here, and then how to get a great version of it working for tablet and mobile. Love it. All right, cheers, y'all. Have a great day.